Detective Comics 975, James Tynion the fourth writing, Alvaro Martinez on the art. This is the trial of the Batwoman issue, and I got super excited in this issue because as much as we've obviously had this Bat Family book, right? It's not had Dick, it's not had Babs, and it's not had like Robin, even Damien, right? There's something
or Connor's favorite,
Jason. There's something really beautiful to me about the idea that when this happened and Batman wants to discuss it with the family, he has to call in the core family who have not been around.
Yep.
I really love that idea, and it was like
it's a family meeting. Like,
and even just Dick like meeting Babs first, and obviously it's a bit of a joke. He's like, "Oh, all my bikes are in Bloodhaven. Can I get a ride?" But like just having them all, it feels like it does kind of feel like a family either reunion or like a funeral or a wedding where they've not seen each other in a while, so they're all like arriving at different times and catching up. It's got that kind of vibe to it. I like all that
the
stuff.
amount of crap that Damien's talking, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, this showed me I need Damien interacting with Cass more often.
Yeah.
I need it. I need someone who can put him in his place.
Yeah. Well, just not because they're almost two sides of the same coin. Whereas he's all bluster, and she's the opposite of all bluster.
Yeah.
Like,
She
no bluster is the phrase you're looking for.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was a better way to put that when I started it, but he's very gonna let you know what he's gonna do and how he can defeat you. And Cass doesn't need to do that. She can just give you the look and just go, no.
You're going down now.
Or even Tim being smug is like, oh, I should have recorded that after she puts Damien down.
Yeah.
No, that's my one thing is how I feel Tim's a little bit off here. But I don't know if that's on purpose or if it's just in direct contrast with everybody else that's there.
Do you know what I need more of? Actually, speaking of interactions, I think Babs and Damien, I kind of want a bit more of that as well. I feel like we don't really get much of that.
No.
Yeah.
So I could be doing more of that.
This is what we say is what we want for when Detective shifts to a new writer.
We want all these characters added in, yeah.
If we're going to shake up the team, shake up the format of the book a bit, let's get some of these things together.
You know what would be cool? It'd be like a Brave and the Bold, but just for Batman characters, where you can mix up for 4-issue arcs.
That's a bit of an example, because one of my suggestions was just do rotating through. Okay, this is a Dick arc. This is a Tim arc. Like just do it like that and spiral through. But maybe do it as a Brave and the Bold between them works better.
Yeah, so it's always a pair or whatever.
Yeah, or a grouping of, because it'd be cool to have the Batgirls like teaming up with the first Robins. Like that would be super cool.
Or just the three Batgirls, just for an issue.
The three Batgirls going on.
Hey, I'll take it ongoing, just called Batgirls. Thank you, with all the three.
Well, that too, and that's always kind of my favorite thing is when you have these Bat characters and they're all personality, so it's fun to see them bounce off of each other. And then here, that's the whole crux of the issue. It's basically an issue of people sitting around talking, and normally
it's an issue of double-page spreads.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! Almost everything. There was like 3 single pages in the entire goddamn book.
I'm going to count them, just out of spite of this.
But so basically, one by one, they all give their opinion as to what to do with this. And what's interesting is you basically have characters who are arguing should she wear the bat still, and characters against. And interestingly, Babs is the one who first kind of comes in and says, no, she should still. It's her choice, because this isn't about her. This is about you. You feel betrayed. You feel like she's the legacy of your mother's side of the family. You feel like, oh no, like this is about you and you feeling guilty over it, not her. And it's her choice to make that decision, which is at the end of the book she does, because at the end of the book she actually agrees to go and run Colony. We're going down that path for Batman Eternal, so that's the whole thing.
So do you think this is the decision that adult Tim was talking about? That she's going to ruin it all? Stands to reason, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
So it wasn't so much about the murder of Clayface as much as her basically leaving the Bat.
I think they're so intrinsically tied together anyway, so he could have been referred to that specific incident, because that sets the Bat family as a whole down this path as well.
It's just so entwined. Like, her killing Clayface is what leads to her making that choice, so I mean, it's kind of all one the same. I do love that Babs, and even to an extent Dick, they're not afraid to, like, I love how they feel like the oldest kids in the family, because they're not afraid to speak against Bruce and call him out on his shit, and I kind of really like that. I like that they're willing to do that.
Well, I love especially with Babs, because she is smart enough, she's on Bruce's level that way, and you just go, look, no, I know what you're doing, and I think if that was Jason doing that, it would have felt so hollow, So the fact that it coming from Babs.
I even like she calls out, "Oh, you even just set all this up for Tim to like run the Gotham Knights because you just wanted to basically find a place for Batwoman where she would not go down that path. You wanted to try and like keep an eye on her and keep tabs on her and keep her, within the Bat family."
And I like the bookend device of the funeral, where Bruce and Alfred are there for her mom, and you would assume sister's funeral. And they talk about the pain and the loss and does it ever get better. And it's really throughout that you can see the split between the two, between Bruce and Keith at those young ages, and then how it informs their decisions going later. That she is the soldier. And while Batman has a mission, you never really think of him like a soldier. He's for a lack of better, he's Batman.
Yeah, he's something else entirely.
Yeah,
Stuff that I thought was really interesting. How Tim actually refers to his plan, his eventual goal as Pax Batmana, which is obviously what that futuristic arc was.
Yeah, well, the whole goes too with Pax Romana, right?
Yeah,
which led to the downfall of the Roman Empire because they got too big.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's interesting that even now that was always the goal for Tim. Like, maybe it warped out of control to become what we actually saw, but in concept at least, he had that even named already at this stage. I think that's quite fascinating.
And that's kind of what. Not that it feels off, because it feels very right for Tim, but for him to keep pushing this as he knows the future Tim and what happens.
I think it's a case of being like, I know that's how that's supposed to be, but he's still. Honestly, confident himself that he can do it differently.
For as much as he thinks he's different from Batman, he's not going to become Batman. He's equally stubborn about what he thinks the way things should go are, compared to how Batman's stubborn about how the way things should be done.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason Tim is always seen as the successor to Batman, right?
Yeah, but I can easily see how this gets corrupted, and he becomes that future Batman.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost like there's that tinge of naivety with him.
Well, I mean, Babs calls him out on that. She calls him a naive teenager, an idealistic. I think was the word she uses, and that's kind of it. It's like he has good intentions, and he clearly believes in what he's doing, and he doesn't realize how it's going to be perverted into what we've seen, which is why he's still going down that path, because he just has no comprehension of that.
Yeah, it does definitely feel like it's building to the Gotham Knights not being a thing. Obviously, we've been such a fan of the team existing and interacting, and we're even talking about in this issue how we kind of want some of these other characters to be around for some of these stories so we can have them all interact. I do hope it becomes something like that. Like maybe the solution at the end of this is for them to be closer as a family, even if it doesn't necessarily mean having an actual team where they meet at a round table and go on missions together.
Yeah.
But they're close enough that we do see them like intermingle a lot, and we see Babs in Detective Comics a lot with Batman or with Damian or with whoever, like pick and match. And obviously I want Steph Cass around because I'll be upset if they
well, of course,
obviously.
Well, and don't get lost too.
I just want to say the final issue of his run, he put the cover up, right? And Steph is not on the cover, and I'm like, oh, come on, you. She's just gone now.
Yeah.
Given how much you promised her at the start, she's been very in and out, hasn't she?
Yeah, I do feel like Steph's the one disappointing part where it feels like she was very limited compared to everyone else. As opposed to Cass, who, I mean, obviously I love that Cass has got so much attention. I love that she had this emotional core with Clayface. And that's the thing in this issue, like that's the thing that's killing Kate, is she keeps seeing Cassie's eyes. She can't live with the heartbreak she's caused her. Like she's just completely destroyed her world. But I love
I like how Alfred takes her, like she's not part of the meeting, he takes her
to the ballet.
Like, let's go watch the Russian ballet, and I made some dinner. And,
and like we say,
I love Alfred like
the core Bat family are the Robins and Babs. That's the core Bat family.
Yeah.
So they're the ones who are having this meeting. I like that. I like that he's like, because obviously Alfred's an actor. He's into these kind of things. He's he's going to bond with her. But I love the core debate of like, should she be wearing the bat symbol? Like, what does that mean? It goes back to like obviously a couple issues ago when Cash ripped it off and said, no, this means more than that. And that's kind of what they're debating here. And like Dick's like, oh, I think there's a path to redemption. I think she made the choice she thought was right. But maybe in the meantime, until she earns that trust back, she shouldn't be wearing the symbol. But no, Babs like, no, she's just, if it's her choice to wear that symbol, if she wants to do her thing
you
with
can't
it.
stop her. She's made it her own as much as everyone
else.
So
So where do you guys stand on that?
Oh, this is getting to an interesting debate. Connor, you go first. What do you feel?
Okay. I think I'm closest to Dick, where, I understand the decision she made. It was the wrong choice as a Bat family member, but arguably the right choice in general, as a soldier, like she's trained.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go.
So I think that so she's not a Bat right now, but if she wanted to be, she can earn back that trust and become part of that family again.
Yeah, I don't see Kate as a villain. I think. Well, obviously, we're seeing her almost being seduced seems the wrong word when we're talking about her father, but she has kind of been seduced into running the colony. She's kind of like being teased into that, and he's kind of taking.
It feels like this is a bigger plan by him, going like, they're just going to disappoint you. That's what he's been telling her from the beginning.
It's almost like he's been whispering in her ears, like they're going to let you down, and then eventually it kind of happened. He put the gun in her hand. He gave her the gun, and then this happened, and now he's like, okay, now my daughter's where I want her back. I want her back with me, like, living my legacy out. Not that stupid Bat thing. No, my legacy, the Kane legacy.
Yeah.
So,
as I tried to corrupt the Bat back in the first arc and steal its meeting.
So you've got that. But I don't think. I don't see her as villainous because I do think the choice itself makes sense. She made the difficult call, like in an action movie, if this was happening, there's a monster coming, and the only way to take care of it is to kill the person who's becoming the monster. It would be the sad, tragic ending to the werewolf movie, or whatever. Take your pick, and it would make sense in the plot. But we are talking about superheroes, and we're talking about what it means to be on the Bat family, and that is the rule: is you do not kill. That's what that means. You find another way. You do something better. So. I probably do agree with Dick mostly. That said, I do kind of like where Babs comes from with it. I think what's really smart about this issue is that I don't think any of the opinions of any of the team members struck me as being A, that doesn't make sense for the character, or B, that's completely bullshit and out of line. They all felt like they'd had some sense to them. And I think Babs was particularly interesting because she just called out Bruce and all of his shit. And I think especially just tying into what she's like kind of setting up in her own book right now, the idea that she's getting to a point where she's starting to feel like she's growing up and she's not a kid anymore. And this kind of ties into that kind of neatly, which is pretty cool.
So I agree with that.
So weirdly, and I never thought I'd say this, I fell more towards Jason's reasoning. Just like, he made sense, and I wasn't expecting that.
Well, no. To be fair, I don't want to be seen defending Jason here, because that will not help my reputation. But to go back to go back to what Peter just said, Peter said, not me. Everyone makes sense with their arguments. There is no one who just comes out with something that you go, "Nah, that's bullshit," including Jason.
He is such the black sheep of the family. I expected him to go, "Oh yeah, I don't see what's wrong." Like, that dude needed to catch a bullet, and she did what needed to be done. But he came off, like, super thoughtful, which isn't very Jason, So, just the fact that he was like, yeah, it was a tough decision. She made it. Like, look, I don't use lethal means anymore because I learned. And, so just the fact that he's like, yeah, you could still be a Bat and do that. I'm proof of it. I'm right here. Bruce lets me do what I need to. So I was just like, man, these are all three great arguments out of these three characters, and they all match, Yeah,
definitely.
I think this is one of the best issues of the run. And I think it's one of the best issues because it brings into question what being a Bat family member means. And not necessarily what Batman, because Batman stays mostly silent. He just sits there and he listens to the arguments. He just listens, he lets them have their input. And I actually really like that. I like that he's like, no, what does being a Bat family member mean to all of you? Because obviously he started it. He's Batman. He's got his war on crime and he's tragedy with his parents. He is just what he is. But he wants the opinions of the others who have taken up the mantle as part of the legacy. And what does it mean to you?
That right there encompasses the difference between Batman and Detective Comics as books.
Yeah.
This has been the teen book. Yeah, Batman's been a part of it, but it's never been his book. And even this issue, he's just facilitating the discussion and the debate. He's not really taking part. He's just overseeing it.
Because I was expecting that.
He's the judge.
But I was expecting it to happen at the end, actually. As I was reading it, I thought we'll get to the end, and the last couple of pages will be him giving his input and what he feels. Like, after he's listened to everything, he's considered everyone else's opinion. Here's what I feel. But it doesn't do that, because what it actually does instead is it goes to Kate, and we see Kate make her decision. So, I mean, not making the rest of it irrelevant, but just making it irrelevant in the sense that they're not going to decide for her.
Yeah, it's kind of Batgirl wins in this sense. Yeah, Babs is right. Yeah. It's her decision. She takes it into her own hands. What she does, we don't have that say.
And but Luke and Azrael kind of help her along that way too. You know.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care about those.
I know you don't, but I think the fact that they're there.
And here's the thing I like about it as well is that Batgirl advocates her making her own decision, and then she does make her own decision. But I think, at least from our perspective, it's clearly the wrong decision. And I think, given the future we've seen as well, it's probably the wrong decision. But she has to be allowed to make her own mistakes.
Well, given the future ahead, where it seems like she's the I don't want to say warrior for freedom, but she's one of the people that, she's part of the resistance with the colony against,
Yeah, if I recall, it was her and Jason were the main people.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. When I say this is the wrong choice, I don't necessarily mean that she's the villainous one in the future. I mean that happens because of this decision, because this is what starts the dominoes falling.
Yeah. So I had a friend bring up that his personal theory is she's just doing this to kind of take down the colony once and for all. Like, this is her ending now. Her killing Clayface is almost like, in a mob movie where the undercover guy has to kill somebody to earn that place and show he's loyal. That was his take. And I think it's too tropey, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean,
if it goes that direction a little.
No one else is in on it. If that's what's happening, if that's her plan right now, this is purely her and her alone who's thinking that.
Yeah.
I think ultimately I hope not, because that's less interesting than her going, oh, this is my father. Okay, maybe I can do better with those resources than these resources.
I mean, that's
weighing that up makes better kind of storytelling for me.
We kind of think by the end of the story, though, that she will realize the colony are like not what she should be doing, or that they're doing evil things and they should be stopped.
Don't forget, Tynion keeps throwing Ulysses in there doing his crazy cackles.
Oh, of course,
you know.
I think it's possible she tries to stay with Colony and shape them to be better, and maybe if she can lead them into being useful rather than just being pests.
I guess I just don't see it being that long term, because I don't necessarily see her running Colony in Batwoman's solo book, I guess is what I'm saying.
I mean, that would be an interesting direction after it resolves the family stuff right now.
I mean, it could be, yeah. But Detective Comics was really good this week.
Yeah, it was.
Basically what we're saying. And it was people sitting down talking, but every single part of the conversation was fascinating. It was really sort of, again, talking about what the bat means, and those who wear it, should they live up to a standard. And I think it's an interesting debate. And,
And credit to the art, where, obviously we criticise the sheer volume of double-page spreads, but I think when it is just people sitting around a room talking, it's on the artist to really bring that to life. And I think
and it gives it a sense of cinematography, because the way that you follow the words, so they're almost like camera movements.
Yeah. And credit to again, just going back to the Babs argument, is it kind of fits her character in the sense that her origin is that Batman didn't like let her become Batgirl. She just became Batgirl, and then he kind of had to accept it because she was going to do it no matter what. And I kind of like that, because that ties into her saying she has the choice to do what she wants.
Yeah, well, her origin doesn't revolve around tragedy like some of the others, like the Robins. So, or Batman.
I do feel like Tim being the odd one out in the Robins in that sense. He isn't. He kind of chose this as well.
And he's the one who made Doom is all.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the sense that he's kind of that natural counterpart to Babs, in the same way that she has that journey and so does he. And this is seeing the two divergent paths that can take and how that can affect them. Oh,
and it also reestablishes origin of figuring out the Batman stuff before.
Yeah, thank God.
You know, which infuriatingly gave to Dick in New 52. So
Yeah, which I guess we're just happily
I'm glad
ignoring now.
fine by me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
let's do it properly.
Yeah.